Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, no, wait for you. Wait for you to
Oh.
intro, right?
Hi everyone and welcome to another twisted multiversal adventure of Chip and Multiverse with your host, the 616 version of Kyle Charles, and that made no
Yeah.
sense.
And the man who's looking for his kids all around the multiverse to try and then ended up becoming deep, dark, and evil, murdering everyone in my way.
Yep. Spoiler. And in this episode, we both saw Doctor Strange, Madness in Multiverse, and we're gonna give our thoughts and reviews on the film. So yes, that's today's episode. So, spoiler-free part of the episode.
Yep.
What did you think of it?
I liked it. I liked it. It was a because it was directed by Sam Raimi, No Face Horror.
Hmm.
There were elements in this that worked in that direction. I don't know what the original story was. Like, if, when you put things together and you haven't got a direct in hand. I think Scott Derrickson was going to do it, and I don't know how much of it was going to be this vibe. But I
Yeah.
think Sam Raimi's direction adds when it gets to certain points, right, with the suspense and the okay, not spoiler bits, but the chase sequences, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, the suspense bits. Yeah, they kind of shine through. Um, and you have Sam Raimi trademark fades, like the way he does certain editing. And I was listening to music, and I was like, I bet you, even though Danny Elfman is usually the guy that works with Sam Raimi, I was like, this sounds like a Danny Elfman musical score as well.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
Um. Yeah, I liked it. Was some bits I was like, okay, but there's nothing real bad or anything. There's some character choices I kind of question, but it is what it is. Uh,
yes. I will say maybe what it is. It's more like they do stuff, and you're like, right, yes, I get it. But I think the other thing is, if you don't know anything about anything, this
mm,
film you kind of can't watch.
yeah, you
Uh,
can't at all. Yeah,
yeah, it's not a murky film if you know what's going on,
yeah,
and you kind of get an idea of what's going on. It's just like you don't get a too clear idea of what's. Some things are missing, even though there's stuff there. It's just like they don't put enough depth to it. And then there's some stuff, even if you have seen everything up to this point, some stuff that goes on and you're like, huh? Where did that come from?
yeah, yeah. My like sort of main thing is some of the villains, some of the things he did to her, he or her. I was like, that's a bit too far. If you know what I mean?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Now, as we know, right, you
yeah,
can't reason with a villain, right?
yeah,
But then sometimes your heroes are like, well, you know what? Our course of action is going to be this. It's
yeah.
like, well, yeah, have you even tried reasoning?
But with this villain, they tried, but it's
Yeah.
like,
No, but yeah, like there's other. I don't want to say there's other viable alternatives, but it's just like, well, you know what? We can't reason with them, so let's prepare for the
mm,
worst. Yeah.
yeah,
But there's got to be alternatives other than to fight them or to talk to them. There's got to be some middle ground you can kind of do something. Um.
yeah. But yeah,
So
besides that, it's good.
yeah, did you know the original cut of this movie was like 2 hours and 40 minutes?
Really?
Yeah. Sam Raimi's original cut. Well, not. I think it's when they first put it together, but he's like, yeah, there's 40 minutes of delete scenes.
Huh.
So I
Okay.
wonder, yeah, I wonder how much what that additional stuff was. Because I don't want to say there's stuff that could be fleshed out, but it's more like there's more things. Obviously, it's called the madness of the multiverse. No, multiverse of madness, right?
Mm.
So maybe they visited more multiverses and stuff like that. You know?
I probably, but I'm kind of if it is that, I'm kind of glad they cut that. If I'm honest,
Yeah.
because then I think it would have got to the territory like too much fan service, but
Yeah,
no
you would have thought
substance
it'd be
behind
like
it.
a Crisis on Infinite Earths, yeah?
Yeah, But that kind of worked because it's in a TV show, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
in a movie, you're just gonna be like, oh, fan service. Like, why? This is
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of meh.
Well, yeah, it depends on all the cameo. Like, they were getting cameos and whatnot of those
Yeah.
scenes that aren't relevant to the movie but are fun for people.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works, like Spider-Man, No Way Home. And other
Yeah,
times you're like, you need to give me a bit more plot.
yeah. And I feel like that might have happened in this if they
Mm.
kept maybe those scenes were the deleted ones, but like, oh, cool. There's a Tom Cruise version of Iron Man. Whoopee.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Stuff like that. You're like, oh, do we
I
really
was
need
waiting
this?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I liked seeing different versions of stuff going on here.
Yeah.
I will say sometimes there's dodgy green screen going on, but I have to allow for it because they were filming through COVID probably, and they couldn't have that many people on set or be at certain locations, stuff like that. So you can be like, but the CG is pretty solid.
Yeah. Very solid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think the cast did pretty well as well.
Yeah,
like
the cast did really well.
The girl playing America Chavez was quite charismatic
cool.
for someone there to be like a teenage kid. She wasn't annoying.
No.
And she was kind of upbeat, but then not because certain situations are calling. So it made sense her character journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. My boy Benedict Wong.
Yeah, man, I love that guy. He's awesome.
He's getting his hero moments as because he's the new Sorcerer Supreme. So it's like I know in Spider-Man they didn't give him much to do.
Yeah.
And Shang-Chi, he didn't get much to do either, but he was not important in that. He's more important here, right?
Yeah.
Are they going to downgrade him to make Doctor Strange look good? Because he's not Wong is not the original Sorcerer Supreme. He just got the title because Doctor Strange wasn't there. But it's like, no. They gave him enough credit.
Yeah, which I was quite happy with because I thought, for instance, they're going to make Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme again, innit? But no, they didn't. So it's good.
Yeah. And when obviously Doctor Strange being the hero of the movie gets to do stuff, but it's just more he's got this alternate skill set.
Yeah.
That Wong doesn't, or vice versa as well.
Yeah.
So they're good at their certain things, but someone's going to be better at something else. So, but it doesn't discount the abilities of the other person.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good that they made him like a proper secondary co-star.
Yeah, basically.
A dual lead? Well,
yeah.
He wasn't a dual lead. But he wasn't relegated to third tier or something like that.
No, he was still secondary character because he had quite a bit to do with the main plot.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the horror vibes from this movie because there's certain things that happen and you're like, and the musical cues play off as well. It's like the first Doctor Strange was like a fantasy adventure, which is and here it's a fantasy adventure with horror elements in it because of the way it's filmed and how the camera moves sometimes. If you've seen Sam Raimi films, he's got the thing where when the camera tracks and moves, it's as though the camera is a character watching what's going on sometimes.
Mm.
Yeah. And then when they're moving and hiding away, it's like the camera moves, and then when the character feels the sudden awkward something in the air, right? The camera then moves itself back to try and hide. I was like, okay, yeah. Like an entity in itself sometimes.
Yeah. But the only problem with I kind of gathered with this film as well.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, the horror vibe and stuff. Some of the things that happens, why would you do that? For example, when they're getting chased through the underground tunnel system.
Yeah.
And they stop. Why would you stop?
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, that kind of that's one bit that makes no sense. Why would you stop if you know this person can get through nearly everything you're throwing at them?
Yeah.
Why are you going to stop because one measly door's come down when you didn't stop before those other doors? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes when things happen and you're like, character A, right? Character A is getting engaged in something, right?
Yeah.
Character B, you can still move, right? You're just going to stand there as though you're stunned, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to stand there as though you're going to catch someone from a suicide dive?
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, though, at least in that in wrestling, right? When you got them, they could do the when you put your arms down. Please don't do that. Please, like when you wave your arms as though you see them coming, you're like, no, 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 right? But in movies like this, they just stand there because
Yeah,
they.
like
I was gonna say, at least act as though you're scared to do something, right? Give some
yeah.
sort of.
Because I thought maybe at least like one of them was gonna dress like why we stopped sort of thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
no one did. So that kind of again was like, wait, why? Yeah, why are you stopping it? This kind of
But
makes
then
no
again,
sense.
but then again, because I like slasher films. When they do this stuff, it's like, yeah, that's what they do in slasher films. So it's like, okay, fine, I allow it, even though you guys aren't actually in a slasher film, right?
Yeah,
All I was just waiting for someone to run and fall over.
yeah, same.
Oh, yeah, that would have been it. But yeah, I like the certain the when they were doing the slasher movie villain chase scenes, I liked it. Um, Even though, like, you point out the logic of these scenes, but I'm like, when does the slasher movie actually have logic anyways? So,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. But it just kind of took me up because like none of these films before have sort of done that thing. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like that's why
yeah.
I was
I
like,
thought, I
it's a bit
thought though
weird.
it was going to be a bit more horror than it was, because it's Multiverse of Madness. So, yeah, maybe a bit more creepy or something like that. But you can only do so much first of all as a creepy PG-13 film. Um,
Hmm.
but there was some stuff in this film, and I was like, well, that's kind of
Yeah, some of
bloodless
the
violence, if
death
you know what I mean.
scenes are like that's a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Even they cut away at certain points so it doesn't become like gruesome with him, but still like that's still the image is sort of there. So you
Yeah, even the images and there's the implications of
yeah,
what it
kind
is
of
as
like
well. Yeah.
that's not cool.
Um. Oh, and there was a scene we'll talk about right at the beginning. I was like, oh, are they going to do that? And they did it. I was like, oof, that's kind of. I mean, for a film like this,
Yeah,
right away, it's like, ooh, I don't know about kids watching the film seeing this.
yeah, exactly. Like oh, that's that's
Um. Yeah, I like some of the surprises in this film. As far as casting choices are concerned, I thought maybe there were going to be some more.
yeah.
Or they were going to blips in other parts of the multiverse, and you had some cameos and stuff like that with certain people, like you said, Tom Cruise, Iron Man, or what other random castings could they have done? The Emily Blunt Black Widow.
Oh yeah. They could have done that, couldn't they? Yeah,
Yeah, just for the jokes of it. But
yeah,
then, yeah, I see what you mean. If they're not even significant, why measure the amount of time you have to set up the shot and then give them measure their costumes and stuff like that is like for them to appear for like 30 seconds or not even that.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, some people, like you said, Iron Man, Tom Cruise is fine. Just put the goatee and give him the glove, and then that's it.
yeah,
But yeah, Emily Blunt, Black Widow, you're gonna have to dye her hair. You're gonna have to give her a costume so you know she's a Black Widow, stuff like that.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, I actually thought from the previous film, this film was going to go in a direction with with Baron Mordo.
yeah. Same, but he's kind of relegated to like a throwaway thing in this. But
Well, no, he yeah, well, no, yes and no. Is the best way
mm,
to put it, right? Yeah, but it's less to do with him than it should have, kind of.
yeah, hmm.
Yeah, um, yeah. It's about. I'd say, look, go watch it. It's kind of a nice, fun action adventure,
Yeah.
but it's not too deep. It's not too scary either.
No,
But it's more like one of those where you watch it and go, huh, yeah, that's
intriguing.
neat.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's not like, for example, like Spider-Man No Way Home, where most of the things are fan service, and you're like, but that's great, it's fan service. He's like, oh,
yeah,
it's all fun, it's all good and nice and fun, but it's just like there's, and I would recommend people go watch it, but it's just like it's just I don't know, some the story is more surface,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because like with Spider-Man, you can sort of get away with it because he's had like films the last like 20 years, so you kind of have comes to that point where you could do the fan service sort of thing. But
yeah.
if you just do it in this, it'd be like he's only had one film. Why are you doing all this fan service already? sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Um, I don't want to say, oh, the story is not particularly deep, but this is one of the movies where you can say, here's the plot in one line, right?
Yeah.
However, the issue is then you have to watch a lot of things to get to this point where I can tell you the plot is actually one line. 'Cause it's very complicated.
Yeah.
If you don't know.
Eh.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's like a superhero film, masquerading as a horror film, masquerading as a slasher film, ish kind of. When the plot gets going.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah. Did you wanna start the spoilers then, or?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
alright.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Yeah. So they start the film with America Chavez, whose powers you don't know, right? Just some teenage kid running across into with a version of Doctor Strange because he's dressed differently and his hair's like in a ponytail and he's got red on his costume and Doctor Strange red, black and blue costume.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, they're running away from they're running away from something, right? That we know as Shamogora from the game.
Shimogorath. Yeah.
Even though they ain't call him that because they don't have the rights to him.
Don't they?
No, so that's the guy who wrote Conan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of his characters, right? It's actually a Conan character. I think they licensed when they had the license for Conan.
Yeah.
They used the character. But now they don't.
But they have the license for Conan again now.
Well, yeah, but maybe they have a license to those specific parts. I don't know. Or maybe they have the license to use it in a movie.
Yeah,
but it is the Octopus Star thing, right?
Yeah.
Under a different name. Yeah. Under a different name.
Yeah.
But really is Shamogorov. Okay. It looks like Shamogorov, right?
Yeah.
So we don't get to get them in trouble as well. It acts like, and seems very like Shamogorov from the game, Marvel Superheroes game.
Yeah.
However, plausible deniability. Anyways, they're running away in a dimensional rift or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Because they're not on Earth and it's like very colorful.
Yeah.
And then Strange. So he's casting a spell on the thing to encase it so they could get to an item on the other side of the rift dimension, wherever they are.
Yeah, the Book of Ashanti.
Yeah, and then the thing appears in front of them. And this is where, like you're saying, right? People just stand still and let themselves get hit. Because the thing's cast... Strange sees it in front of him, even though when the thing was behind him, he was casting things. Or then he just stands there and goes, yo, shank me in the leg. And the thing's like, all right, I'll shank you in the leg then. You know?
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
Sure.
You know, you see it in front of you. Are you not going to do a spell to react or whatever? Anyways, get shanked in the leg, and it starts, and then he casts a spell to encase it, another spell.
Yeah.
And this is where also the girl's frozen, and we're like, Stranger's cast a spell. Couldn't you just run towards the book?
Yeah.
Like, try to hop, whatever. Try to get there. At least move, right?
Yeah.
But no, I'm just gonna stand here. I'm gonna stand here as well. Yeah. So he's casting a thing. His leg is infected with whatever, right? And looking at the girl, and he goes, "Yeah, you can't. Whatever powers you have, because we don't know as the audience, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have to take them for myself because I can at least attempt to control it. You don't even know what you're doing." Ladies, girls, and he starts trying to take her powers. And then Shamogorov stops him.
Stabs him through the chest.
Yeah, and she then decides to run underneath it and stuff like that to get to Book of Ashanti.
Yeah.
Which Shamogorov then grabs her. And then she does a Gohan rage out, and her powers happen.
Yeah.
Which is funny because she does the star thing, right? I like how it teleports because it's just like it's a star shape. Her name's America. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not lean into it? And I'm like, all right, fine. I mean, I don't want to say it's campy and cheesy, but it's in your face, and I'm like, well, but you know what? You're not even trying to hide it, so fair enough.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
yeah, exactly. Whatever. Let's just go. yeah, and then they teleport somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And then we see what Doctor Strange getting waking up
Yeah. He's
from
like,
as though
oh,
it was a
it's a
dream.
dream.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Yeah, I beg, I gotta." We see him get ready in a suit or something like that, and he's
Yeah.
going to Christine's wedding.
Yeah. You're like,
From the first.
oh, they didn't get together after those 5 years. That's quite
Yeah.
sad. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he disappeared and she
Moved
didn't
on.
seem like she got sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he's like, she's getting married. They have a little catch up. She's like, oh, see, Stephen, the reason we didn't get together, not to knock you on my wedding day, it's just like he's like, Stephen, are you happy? And he's like, yeah, kind of, yeah. And she goes, the reason we, like, even though we kind of wanted to get there together, we didn't. Is because you kind of had to. She said the way that she said it's like he had to hold the scalpel, but we know that means he needs to be in the limelight.
Yeah.
I don't want to look. I mean, she didn't. That's because it's mean to when it's you verbalize it, but that's not what she's meaning. I think.
No.
I mean, in that such a manner.
Yeah.
It's just like he's always got to try and save people or something like that.
Yeah, basically.
There's other things in a way, like the Superman syndrome, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, bad circumstances and stuff like that. So, yeah, and that's kind of fair enough. But she's like, yeah, are you going to be staying long? And he's like, yeah. And she goes, cool, because my husband's a fan. Oh, like,
Yeah.
all right. Not as heartlessly as I
Stabbed in
just
the
said
heart.
it.
Yeah.
But she didn't do it the way I just said it, by the way.
No.
But yeah, he hears the sound of something happening outside. He goes and sees what cars just flying all over the place.
Yeah. Then he jumps into action.
Yeah. Calls the cloak of levitation. It attaches onto him, and he just all of a sudden he warps his suit into his Doctor Strange costume.
Yeah.
Flies to the site of the action, right? Yeah. And I'm not sure if you noticed it, but you probably didn't. I'll point out to you. So when you watch the trailer, you will notice it. There's a dude in the trailer, like Doctor Strange lands. You see the Shamagora throwing his cards about, right?
Yeah.
As he's going to land, you see this dude, right?
Yeah.
An extra, yeah, running with a bag, like a shopping bag, black shopping bag.
Yeah.
Right? Every time it cuts to a different camera angle, he's running from the same spot again and again.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna say Doctor Strange lands and there's the extra in the time loop because he can't get away.
Yeah, it's like, oh no.
Right.
I'm stuck here.
Watch it in the trailer. You'll see him run past Doctor Strange like 5 different times.
Oh, I'll look out for this.
yeah. And he casts a spell so he can see Shamagora. Then he sees what Shamagora is chasing, which is the girl, and he rescues her. Well, gets the cloak to pull her towards him while he does a spell to contain Shamagora. And he's like, wait a minute, I know this girl from somewhere.
Yeah.
And then he gets blindsided, of course.
Yeah.
And then the girl gets has to run to save her own skin.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And she can't quite get away. And then you get someone out of nowhere that helps save the girl. And it's like, oh yes, Benedict Wong, Wong himself, right?
Yeah.
Actually gets to do something.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he gets a cool hero moment. Nice. Who else would have been, of course? But it's just like, you know what? Yeah, they're not. He's going to be someone important in the context of the movie.
Yeah.
But it's set in tone. It's like they help each other, you know.
Yeah.
So you got them two versus Shamagora, who's chasing the girl. Okay, and the way they save. They get rid of Shamagora is so Strange and Wong are tied up by the tentacle Starro arms, yeah?
Yeah.
And he cast a spell to pull a pillar. No. Yeah. A pillar, right?
Yeah.
The street sign lamp things,
Yeah.
right? And I think the cloak of levitation goes to jump on top of Shamagoraf's big eye.
Yeah.
And then Strange is directing the pillar towards the eye. And I'm like, are they actually going to do this shot?
Yeah, same. And
so the cloak of levitation moves out of the way. You see the angle from the eye's point of view that the lamppost is coming towards him, right?
Yeah.
and then it flips as well. So you're like, I'm like, all right. So you see the reflection, the lamppost coming towards the eye and the reflection. I thought they were going to cut scene there and show reaction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. But no.
Right. Instead, they show this thing jump right in that eye, pull out the eye. The Shamagorov just flopped to the ground from the building. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the eye that's still pierced from the lamppost pole falling as well. And I was like, oof, oof. I mean, it wasn't bloody, but at the same time, it's like. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
you scare kids like that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they rescue the girl. The girl's like, so here's what's going on, right? I'm a multi-dimensional traveler, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
You tried to help me, but you've got killed. But can you help me again, kind of? Because I got no one else to go to.
Yeah. And then Shane's like, okay, cool. I can
Yeah.
buy all this because, I've dealt with this stuff with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then the whole Spider-Man joke thing. What, does he shoot webs for his butt? You're like, I hope not. Gosh, no. No, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty fun.
But they do jump to logical conclusions when they have no evidence, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they make logical leaps, which are correct, but they have no evidence for it. They're like, oh yeah, so I wonder if it's who's directing these demons, right? Because you would have thought maybe the demons themselves are chasing it logically, right? But they need to move the plot forward, so they have to do this. These things aren't sentient by themselves. Maybe they have to be summoned, right? But someone's got to summon them. Okay, fair enough. All right. So is a sorcerer summoning them? No, I can tell witchcraft when I knows it.
Yeah.
All right.
Because they had runes on it, so it must be a witchcraft thing. So, okay, cool. I know a witch who's extremely powerful, and then enter Scarlet Witch.
Who's in her? When we are introduced to her, she's having a dream. No. First of all, she's playing with the kids, right? The kids that do not exist from One Division anymore.
Yeah.
She wakes up. From the dream, in her dreary world, where she's going to cut apple blossoms from trees.
Yeah, I think so. Something.
She's done the thing. She's done the thing where Vanos. After Vanos did the snap and he's on the farm, he's like, "Yes, my quest is done."
Yeah,
that's kind of what she is. He's like, you know what? I did what I've got the Dark Code. I've got all the power. I'm not gonna live a farm life now. With my dream world kids or whatever.
Yeah, I'm retired.
Yeah. Except obviously, like Strange comes and speaks to her and says, you know about witchcraft. You got magical abilities. Can you help us? Because this girl's getting chased by
something. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, the girl, America. You can tell her to stay at my house, that I built in the countryside somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then Doctor Strange, he's like, well, I never actually told you her name. You got to, you was talking a bit too much there.
Yeah. And then this film we reveal that she's the bad guy.
Yeah, she does the thing where she's like, all right, Strange, sigh. She turns everything around, like from the colorful, like greenery it was in the forest, and it all goes red and dead trees and stuff like that. And she goes, yeah, all right. Gonna unveil my heel version self. All right, you made me do it. You made me do it, Strange. By the way, Strange, I'm gonna threaten you very civilly, actually. All right, it was me all along. Okay, I'm sending you these things to go and kill this girl. And now I was trying to do it very peacefully, even though they've murdered an alternate version of you. However many times, right?
Yeah.
If you don't give me the girl, I'll just go and raise.
I'll take her. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Where at the Comatage, or the Sorcerer Supreme training grounds.
Yeah.
Well, basically, when Strange went there, he said, "We are here at this place at this time with this girl."
Yeah, he basically told her
right?
everything.
Yeah. And so and then before he realized, of course, Scarlet Witch is off key.
Yeah.
And then when he teleports back, she said, "You got till sundown." So yeah, I'll be coming for her soon. And then when he gets teleports back, he's like catching up Wong and America on what's going on. And Wong's like, so yeah, you legit just told her everything, where she needs to be, when, and who's got what.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's gonna come after us and kill us. And you know how powerful she is. Because she's got a Darkhold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done, Strange. Well done.
Yeah,
he didn't do it as sarcastically as I said it. Because they're actually, draining death, so there's no time for being sarcastic. But he's like, yeah.
He's like, great. That's awesome.
Yeah. So everyone get the defenses up, the magical defenses. They're going to call all sorts of troops from everywhere. And await the attack.
Yeah. And then Scarlet Witch comes and just tries to do the attack, but they've been prepared for it, obviously. So they've had like they have their barriers on that set up, and one is like, okay, let me pick on the weakest person here and get into his mind. So one was like, oh, she's trying to do mental games. Reinforce your minds, everyone. So she's still doing her little thing. He finds one guy who's is not confident in himself. So she goes to his ear, run. So he runs and
wait. She does that Bray Wyatt, right?
Yeah, run. So then he runs away. So the shield obviously is.
Oh no, but he runs away, bashing other people, right? As he's doing it, because why not? Yeah. But he's out for. I don't want to say he's out for himself, but when you see slasher films, people do these things.
Yeah.
And you just cause as much damage as you can, trying to get away.
Yeah, not on purpose.
Still, it's just like, oh, you're panic. You panickers. But I like that she couldn't, as strong as she is, as powerful as she is, because she's got the power. She's been modified by an Infinity gem.
Yeah.
The powers of the Darkhold is also boosted, but she's only so powerful, right?
Yeah.
That because if she overpowered everyone there to do it, that would have been a bit too much.
Yeah.
Because the Sorcerer Supreme is there, well, both of them, right? It's like, how powerful can you be, Scarlet Witch? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked how she did that. It was quite smart. Also, referenced the power that she hadn't used before, since Age of Ultron.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then she goes on her killing spree, basically.
Yeah.
So the ones that are still alive sort of retreat to where America Travis is being kept in their headquarters. I can't remember what it's
we'll call it the inner sanctum, right?
Even
that's not quite what it is.
Yeah. And then Scarlet Witch, obviously being Scarlet Witch. Oh no, sorry, they do a spell where she goes into that weird mirror dimension.
Yeah. Oh, this was great. So and what she then did was she puts her she's kind of scared because she's like, what's going on here, right?
Yeah.
Because there's spikes coming at her as well.
Yeah.
Right? And they're kind of meant to stop her maneuvering around in any direction.
Yeah.
But she just puts her hand to the mirror, and then when it goes back into the non-mirror universe, she's just dragging people down in reflections. I'm like, wow, that's quite something. And then they're like, cover the reflections so she can't get out. I mean, she can't just grab people and pull them down.
Yeah.
Right? To the depths. And then she decides, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come out of a reflection. A gong, right? So, they must have polished that gong real good. But she comes out of it like Sadako coming out of the Ring TV.
Yeah.
And then she's cracking herself back into shape.
Yeah. Which
I was like, oh, that's quite neat. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then after that, she finds him, obviously, what you said. And she's about to take America's powers.
Yeah.
And America gets scared, so it opens up a portal.
Yeah.
And Strange she gets sucked through the portal, and Wanda goes to do something, like shoot a beam or something at her, and Strange jumps in front of it and gets hit by it, and it puts a hole in his cape. So America and Strange fly through multiple different dimensions, which is pretty cool. Because I'm pretty sure one of those dimensions they showed was Spider-Man 2099, because it's got kind of futuristic or whatever. But anyway,
they did go through a cartoon world, and then a world where they were in paint, and then and I think the portal itself closed when America they disappeared in there.
Yeah.
So then Scarlet Witch looking at one going, "You're in trouble, boy."
Yeah. And then they wake up on Earth 8-3.
Well, okay. So far they wake up on a Earth. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
They
not too
ain't
sure
named
which it
Earth
is.
yet, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So then they're like, oh, this is weird. And then they start walking around the Earth and stuff. And then we kind of see America's origin because they go to walk past some shop that plays your memories.
Well, it's like, oh, this is So on this Earth, you can replay your fondest memories, and as a teaser for what you can see,
Yeah.
you step on this thing and you get 2 minute a minute or whatever free.
Yeah.
But realistically, it's to give us plot.
Yeah.
It's conveniently there to give us plot, but it actually makes sense in the
Yeah.
because it might be something on this alternate world that So it doubles as something nice and cool.
Yeah.
Plot relevant, but also it's not just there to be there for no reason.
No.
Or just to info dump.
Yeah. So yeah, we see her origin where she, as a child with her two mums on their planet, because she's a singularity as well.
Yeah.
She gets scared by a bee, which causes a portal to open, and it sucks her two mums somewhere.
Yeah.
Which she
and
thinks
she goes
killed
there
them.
as well, right?
Yeah. No, she goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's telling Doctor Strange she's been to 72 worlds.
Yeah.
So
And
she's
she
been
saw
running
her
for
parents.
quite a bit.
Yeah. And Strange is like, no, your parents are probably still alive, so don't beat yourself up about it, kid, and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So then they get the idea to go and find this universe's version of him, because he should know magic too and help him get to going.
By the way, we forgot a key point, right? A key point. So after way back when America arrived, after they dealt with Shamagora, and after they speak about the multiverse,
Yeah.
Strange asked her. Yeah, Strange asked her what happened to the Doctor Strange that was with her.
Yeah.
And then because she teleported across, right?
Yeah.
So his body came across as well.
Yeah.
Because I think you're in a certain vicinity, it kind of vacuums you in.
Yeah.
So then they're they see that she's not chatting rubbish because the stranger, the red and blue and black version of costume Strange is there, and Doctor Strange is like, yeah, right. This is the guy from my dream though, and you're the guy. He starts making sense of all the pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the evidence is more when you're skeptical, right? But the other thing is once you see the evidence, you're like, okay, right. Now where's this going?
Yeah. Now you can't be lying to me because I see the proof. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like, all right, let's. But they're like, well, you can't have a dead body over here on this rooftop, right?
Yeah.
Of you because you're still alive.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, we'll just remove some of these bricks here, put him in there as a burial, yeah, and then no one's gonna find him.
Yeah. Oh, okay, sure.
And then we'll go to Comatage now, and then I'll go to Scarlet Witch to start giving her information exactly what she needs to do.
Yeah. Plot dump. Yeah. So back to where I left off. So they're going to his sanctum whatever on Beaker Street, and they find it. Oh, cool. He is dead because you see a statue of their Doctor Strange saying he is a hero because he helped, or he basically killed Thanos or whatever. So he's a hero that they should celebrate. So they're like, oh, he's dead. Oh, and as they're saying this, I think they actually knock on the door. Either way, someone opens the door.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, who could this be? For a moment, I thought it was Loki because didn't recently Loki was the Sorcerer Supreme?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought,
well, yeah. I mean, I thought it actually might have been Wong, like an alternate version of Wong.
Nah, because of the hair, I was like, that's what I thought. Oh, because you can see.
Right. Yeah. Well, you never know. Alternate version of Wong might have had long hair.
Yeah, true. No, well, and from how he dressed, it couldn't be Wong because Wong's
it's true.
body shape. And then you see it's Baron Mordo. Well, Carl Mordo. And
Sorcerer Supreme himself, right?
Yeah. So Strange's like, well, what? Your name's Carl?
Yeah.
He goes, oh.
Yeah. And and this is the only version of Mordo in the film,
Yeah.
which is kind of like what we were saying before. It's like, what happened to him?
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't he set up to be more?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So they kind of forgot about that storyline.
I thought randomly he might make an appearance.
Yeah, same.
Here and there, just be like. So you got the main. Yeah, you got Scarlet Witch as your main villain.
To be fair, I didn't even know if she was going to be the main villain, but yeah.
Oh no, yeah. But once they reveal her,
yeah,
once she's destroying Carmitage, I thought also Baron Mordo was going to be chasing them through the multiverses as well.
Yeah,
just like the other person. When Scarlet Witch is doing stuff on her side,
yeah,
I thought Mordo was going to be the one, the threat also on the other side.
yeah,
Doctor Strange.
But no.
So for Mordo's logic, he'd also be attacking Scarlet Witch as well.
yeah, because she's using it to off balance, whatever it is. Yeah. So then Strange is like, no, this guy's gonna try and fight me. Then Mordo's like, brother, he said you'll come, and I want to hear your story. He's like, oh, okay, in this universe, Mordo likes me. Cool. So they get acquainted. He kind of fills in Mordo what's going on. And just as stuff is going to happen, like, okay, me and Mordo's going to do stuff, Strange starts feeling like dizzy and stuff, and you realize that Mordo poisoned their tea to make him sleepy and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, and then he's like, oh, you and this Chavez girl are the real danger to the multiverse, not Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
And like, wait, what? So then he wakes up in a cell with.
Wait, hold on. Then they flash back to Scarlet Witch at this point.
Have they?
Do they?
I can't remember. Probably. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, and one wakes up.
Yeah.
And Scarlet Witch is talking about the Darkholme and how she's going to use it to find another version of her in the multiverse, so she can use this thing called dream walking.
Yeah, she basically possessed the body of a version of herself.
Yeah.
That has kids.
Yeah.
Because she's apparently the only version of herself that doesn't. I'm like, hold on, the multiverse is infinite, so maybe you're just being a bit selective in your choices.
Yeah. Well, I get it works because she picks the one that's in the same universe that Doctor Strange is in.
Well, I think she's hunting for him as well.
Yeah, but that sentence makes no sense. Like you said, it's a multiverse. It's probably like a universe where she doesn't exist. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
But whatever.
But she, I think, okay. So when Strange in America disappear, Scarlet Witch is like, I'll use the Darkhold to find these people. I need to find with her magical powers, right? So she doesn't conveniently find them a version of herself in the same universe as where they are. She's actively looking for them.
Yeah.
And then that particular version of her does have kids, because she takes possession of herself.
Yeah.
And then basically she's gonna walk outside the house, and the kid's like, "Oh, come back! We've got something to show you," and stuff like that. So she was actually gonna go and find them.
Yeah.
But she wanted to hold her kids. Yeah. I think she holds her kids for a little bit, and then she's like, "Yeah, Mummy's got to go and do something." So she goes off, flies off, right? Yeah. No, it says after. No. Sorry. No, that's a bit later. Sorry.
That's later because this is the bit where one of the sorcerers.
Yeah.
She wakes up and one's like, "Oh no, she's there." One's like, "Oh, I thought you died." She's like, "No, I survived."
Yeah.
But we got destroyed the Darkholme, and Ron's like, "Oh, let me do it." She's like, "No, you can't. I'll do it." So she stabs the Darkholme, and it kills her, and that's why Scarlet Witch couldn't make the connection with the Wanda in that universe at that point. Yeah.
There
we go. I remember now. So that happens.
Yeah.
So then, wait, have I missed a bit? Yeah, so that happens, and then Wanda's like, "Well, I'm gonna kill the rest of these people that are alive." and was like, I can't tell you where it is, like the original Darkholme, because he told her that's a copy.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you where it is. He's like, okay, cool, I'll kill these people then. And then she starts like torturing him, and one can't take no more. He goes, it's at Mount Wondergore. That's where the original Darkholme's been written on the walls. She's like, okay, cool, you're gonna take me there. So then she gives him back his sling ring, and they go through a portal, and then we go back to Doctor Strange and America Chavez in the other universe. Yeah.
In Kate, no, we're in the plastic prison cells, right?
Yeah.
And Doctor Strange has cuffs on which nullify his magical powers.
Yeah,
because of the sands of whatever it's called, right?
Yeah, Vashant. I think it's the sands of the stone, the time stone. I'm not too sure. Sands of something. Yeah.
So there's an alternate version of Christine Palmer there who's like, yep, Strange. I was friends. Whatever I was with my Doctor Strange is complicated, and he's like, and Doctor Strange is like, yeah.
You there?
Yeah. And but she's like, look, we're on Earth 838, and you're Earth 616, which is weird because the movie universe is not 616.
Yeah, that's kind of threw me. I was like, no.
See, when they did it in Far From Home, and Mysterio saying Earth 616, he's shouting out utter rubbish, and we know it because there's no multiversal dimensional travel.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
Right? But are you telling me then technically he kind of guessed right?
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
Yeah, especially since he actually is wrong.
Yeah. Nah.
Yeah. So more those like with his Ultron centered. No, hold on. With the Ultrons from Age of Ultron, but the Tony Stark versions.
Yeah.
As the protectors, as his
sentient. I mean, centuries. Yeah.
Yeah. And when Christine was talking about where she graduated.
Yeah, the Baxter Foundation.
Yeah, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, Sam was like, huh? My ears lit up. I was like,
Yeah, I was like, Baxter Building? Are they in the Baxter Building? Is this where the building is? That where it is? But because it looked scientific, right? Didn't look like the Sanctum Sanctorum, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Carl Mordo swaggers up to Strange, who's in prison, and he goes, yeah, the Illuminati will see you now. All right.
Yeah.
So he takes Strange, they walk off, and I think this is where they cut back to Wanda and Wong.
Yeah, Wong. Yeah.
And then she casts a spell to reattach herself to the Wanda of that universe.
Yeah, after she gets to Mount Wondergore.
Yeah.
And then she sees the original inscriptions of the Darkholme on the walls.
Yeah.
And a statue of herself saying, "Oh, this is destiny. I was meant to be here."
Yeah. So that Scarlet Witch tells her that Wanda says to her kids, "I'm going to step outside. Mummy's going to step outside for a second," and then she launches herself with her hex to fly. Well, I thought this version of her might not have powers, and then she forced her powers on this version.
That's what I thought, which would have made more sense. But,
But I don't know if it had they don't distinguish whether this version has powers or not.
No.
But whatever. But yeah, I mean it's not clear, but it's also not unclear.
Yeah.
You kind of assume, but you don't. There's no confirmation.
Well, at the end, it kind of confirms that she does.
Yeah. But at this time, we don't know if her possessing the body comes with attaches her powers to her, or she's possessing Scarlet Witch non-boosted powers.
I don't know, because there's no way like. Well, we'll get to the end, but I'll talk more about it because I'm really spoiling anything.
Yeah. So Strange is being brought before the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Which the way they show it, right? You see Carl Mordo step forward, and he's got Captain Britain, Peggy Carter next to him, which is cool. Yeah. From the What If series. Yeah. Pretty What If accurate costume, by the way.
Yeah.
Basically, Strange walks in there and he's about to be sarcastic, right? And she just throws the shield at him.
Yeah.
She didn't hit him, but it's like hit the wall. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, she ain't, taking her prisoners.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
Yeah. I think then it moves across to Black Bolt, which is from the Inhumans TV series. Did you ever watch that, by the way?
No.
They got the guy back that
Yeah, I
was
was like,
playing.
because I was sitting there, I was like, is that a guy? Because obviously you can't see his face, innit? So
Yeah.
you can't. We can't see all his face because of the mask. Like,
Yeah.
is that him? And then I had to
Yeah.
search a minute ago. Like, oh yeah, actually him. That's good.
But his costume in Inhumans was more of a
Leather jacket.
yeah, the jacket base with the symbol. But here's a full-on costume.
Yeah, which is dope.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it moved to Maria Rambeau
Yep.
as Captain Marvel.
Yeah, the real second Captain Marvel. Realistic. Yeah.
No, Monica Rambeau is the real second Captain Marvel.
Oh, whatever. You get what I mean. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, they didn't do much for her costume. They basically just got her the costume from the Captain Marvel, like the green and blue version.
Yeah, which I was okay with. Like,
Yeah.
oh, whatever.
But I was like, alternate costumes and stuff. I mean, her past, yeah. Oh, okay, I don't know. It's just more. You would have thought she'd have something more looking like binary. Her character.
But
Well,
that's
look,
different.
if it was a silver and black version.
Yeah, it'd be alright.
Yeah.
But like, if they made a binary costume, that's like binary is technically a different character. So
No, I'm not talking about binary as Ms. Marvel binary.
yeah, that's what I was going for. That's what I meant.
Monica Rambeau is what's her code name now? Her code name's binary now, right?
Spectrum or
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Photon.
yes. Wait, no, I don't think it's Photon.
Or maybe she has so many damn.
I think it is Spectrum. It's something. I think it's Spectrum right now. Let's have a look.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, they could have kind of coordinated to her costume because that's what they're kind of doing, right? But yeah, and then
Spectrum's a code name now.
yeah, and then they move on to the smartest man in the universe, Mr. Reed Richards, and he teleports himself in.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, that's kind of neat. They got John Krasinski as well, and he does look the part. But I was like, hold on a second, right? Oh, in this whole two universe is fine because they can be whatever age, right?
Yeah.
But I was just like, if he used to carry a 3-movie franchise by himself, which is going to last about 10 years or whatever, right? He'll be 50 plus by that point.
Well.
And then
Downey
you have to
Jr. was in his
explain.
40s,
You have to
so.
explain exactly where Reed Richards has been. If he gets, not saying I'm averse to casting, I'm just like logically they'd probably cast someone in their 30s.
Yeah, he's late 30. Well, no, he's early 40s probably at this point.
Yeah, he's early 40s.
Yeah. No.
But the costume looked neat.
Yeah, I like the costume. I did like it. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then the Illuminati are talking about Strange, and then you hear the old X-Men. Yeah.
That popped me. I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't even mean to, but when it happened, like, I actually swore, like, F off. I was like, oh.
But the thing is, as well, he comes in his X-Men 94 yellow wheelchair thing.
Yeah,
and
the whole wheelchair thing, yeah.
The bit where his legs are, right?
Yeah.
Are kind of bulky.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought they were slimmer.
You would think.
Yeah, but it was like, wow, that's a chunky bit of a thing for your legs, Charles, right there.
Yeah. That got me huge.
Yeah.
The only thing that annoyed me about it, though,
Yeah.
there was no mention of the X-Men.
Yeah.
Because I would have been fine if they just said Mr. Fantastic, but they said leader of the Fantastic Four. Like, so you can mention the Fantastic Four, but you can't mention Charles Xavier, leader of the X-Men.
Well, yeah. Well.
Yes.
Well, okay. Let's put it at this point, right? Let's put it at this point. Who knows whether the X-Men are together or not? Because the amount of times that Charles has done a face heel turn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, no more face heel turns for him.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Illuminati are there, and they're chatting about whether Strange is like. They're like, we need to tell Strange exactly what happened to the Doctor Strange of our universe.
Yeah.
And what they did was use the Darkhold to empower Strange. Well, how they defeated Thanos was having more power.
Yeah.
And then I think the Darkhold took Strange under its control. And they're like, well, yeah, something got to be done, Strange, and he knows it himself. He's like on his knees, and he's like, yeah, you got to finish me. You got to
Yeah,
get me. And Black Bolt, with his powers of being super loud,
yeah. He's whatever. He's liquefying voice, whatever. Yeah,
yeah, and he actually says, "I'm sorry," and
yeah,
then he just destroys Doctor Strange with with his words. Not like when your mom cusses you down, right? You can't say
yeah,
nothing, and you die on the inside, right? No, he legit has the ability to like echo reverberation.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like, all right. This is gonna sound really. It's nitpicky. All
yeah,
right. When he said I'm sorry, and if he just that beam came out then and killed him straight away, I mean, oh, that's quite cool. But it went on for too long.
yeah,
I was like, wait, why is it? He's already said the word. Why is the
yeah,
beam? Yeah, yeah. It's just because from what I know of Black Ball, he just says it and it happens.
yeah.
I
But and
like,
what's cool, he's actually said it as a whisper as well.
yeah.
If you didn't watch you said you didn't watch the TV series,
No,
right?
no, no.
So what's kind of cool, it was he got when they got the Inhumans got teleported to Earth,
Yeah,
and the first thing they do,
yeah,
he bumps into some cops who try to beat him up, right?
yeah,
As you do,
yeah,
right? And they're hitting him, right?
yeah.
And obviously he had to grunt because he's taking like his pain, right? He
Mm,
knows better than to say anything, right? But
yeah,
when you hit when you naturally get hit, you kind of like
yeah. You make
take
the
the pain.
reaction sound whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he's like doing like small mumble grunts,
yeah,
and they're still causing damage.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Might watch it
Um.
one day.
Yeah. Anyways, that's that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and he's like, well, Strange is like, but I won't be like the Strange universe because we need the Darkhold to stop the Scarlet Witch,
yeah,
who's going to cause more problems, because she don't care.
yeah.
And then Baron Mordo's like, nah, mate, we would need to cast a vote.
Oh, because he's like, no, but he's like, huh, we can deal with the Scarlet Witch. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And then it's like, we need to cast this vote, by the way, of what to do with you.
yeah,
And then the alarms go off.
yeah,
And then all the other Illuminati, like Baron Mordo goes, don't worry, I'll keep my eye on Strange. And the Illuminati's like, we're gonna have to cast the votes afterwards.
yeah.
Let's deal with the Scarlet Witch now.
If we return.
Yeah. If and when, right? And yeah, and then they go to fight. Well, they go to do something. It's the best I can say. They make their heroic entrances, yeah.
Yeah, which look pretty
Piggy
cool.
Carter with her jetpack,
Yeah,
right? And yeah, Scarlet Witch is just not impressed with them whatsoever.
No.
Reed Richards like Scarlet Witch. You got to stop what you're doing because you're going to cause irreparable damage to all sorts, right?
yeah,
I know what it's like because I've got children too. But you have to keep these things under control because we're the heroes, yeah.
yeah,
And then she's like, so your kids, do they have a mother? And he's like, yes, she's very much alive. She's looking after them right now. And she goes, and Scarlet Witch goes, good. And then she just tears them apart.
She goes good because at least they'll still have her.
Yeah.
You're like, ooh.
Yeah, it turns Reed Richards into spaghetti, which didn't look nice, you know. Oh no! First thing he said, no, we're gonna stop you.
Yeah.
Black Bolt, if he says something, he'll just destroy you.
Yeah.
And then she's like, how can he say anything if he doesn't have a mouth? And then he zooms back, camera turns to Black Bolt. He's got no mouth. He tries to scream because he has no mouth, and he just destroys his own head.
Yeah, that bit was a bit like, ooh.
Yeah.
A bit.
I was like, that's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, because you expect them to do more, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, they eliminated the most powerful person quickly
Yeah.
as a threat, which makes sense. But then it's almost comedic
Yeah.
because you set up how powerful he is.
I was like, ooh, he just went out like a chump. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Reed Richards gets spaghettied, and then Monica Rambeau and
He gets spaghetti, but then his head explodes as well.
Yeah,
Like,
that was nice. And then Monica Rambeau, Maria Rambeau, Captain Marvel, and Captain Carter, they're doing, they're fighting the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, he put a bit of a fight, which is quite cool.
Yeah. Peggy Carter did pretty well actually, considering all she has is a shield and super soldier serum.
Oh, I forgot to say the bit about. Wait, is that later on where Xavier says something that's in one of the X-Men movies?
Oh yeah. That's sorry.
Yeah.
No, we bypassed it. But go on.
Oh yeah, when he goes, just because someone slips up doesn't mean we can't. They don't have another chance. Something like that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's just before the Illuminati say
Yeah,
we got to go
yeah.
and fight the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, that popped me. I was like, oh, that's
Yeah,
from
yeah.
an X-Men film. That's cool.
Yeah, that's from Days of Future Past. I was like,
Yeah.
yes. They didn't go too heavy on the fan service there because
No.
it's like if you don't know, you don't know. But then if you do, you do. But
Yeah.
it makes sense in
Yeah.
the context of a story.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so Scarlet Witch. Yeah, so you got Captain Marvel, who's powered by an Infinity Stone, versus Scarlet Witch, who's also powered by an Infinity Stone. But the thing is, she's got the powers of the Darkhold and the powers of I don't care now.
Yeah.
I'll wipe you all out. The power of
Yeah.
heat, spite, whatever you want to call it, right?
The power of I've gone too far. There's no character
yeah.
There's redemption for my character. Let's just
Yeah.
do what I've got to do.
Yeah. And this is where she gets like, but Captain Carter, yeah. So Maria Rambeau gets thrown into a wall or something like that.
Yeah.
Disappears for a little bit. Captain Carter's doing a decent amount of damage though for a person who doesn't now have any magical abilities.
Yeah.
Except that she throws her shield a bit too much.
Yeah.
And,
But you forget the bit where she goes, I could do this all day. I was like, oh, God bless
Yeah.
her.
So then she throws her shield one last time.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch uses her hex to catch it and just sends it back at Peggy Carter. And all you see is shield comes towards her.
Yeah.
And then it's like the camera zooms in the top half, like where Captain Carter's head is,
Yeah.
and then it kind of just drops to the side.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, we know exactly what happened there. You didn't have to show us.
Nope. Kind of glad you didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
then Maria Rambeau comes flying out the wall,
Yeah.
and they collide,
Yeah.
and they do a Matrix
Yeah.
where they grab each other and do the spinny thing where Neo Agent Smith would do with the gun.
Yeah. Which is, I thought was
And
quite
then they
hilarious.
just kind of spin so much they fly apart.
Yeah.
I think that's the point. Wanda's got like bleeding on her head, like
Yeah.
and Maria and both like on the floor.
Yeah,
Let's
because
just
before that, they're
actually
doing like a beam fight, and then
Yeah.
Monica Rambeau's helmet and stuff starts coming off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Wanda's like, so they're both pretty beat up at this point.
Yeah.
And Wanda's like, oh, she's by a statue, right?
Yeah.
Just drop the statue. The big massive statue, whatever it is. Yeah, and they use that so that's what falls on Captain Marvel. And then you see Captain Marvel's arm flop inside the rubble, so you know she's dead, right?
I don't know if she's dead though.
Yeah. Well, that depends, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think something like that. I don't know. I personally think how they've kind of made Captain Marvel in these films and stuff, that wouldn't kill her. It's probably like stopped her for now.
Well, but depending on the amount of damage that has been dealt with from these characters and the superpowered up
Yeah.
version of
But even now, I
Scarlet
don't know. I just feel like
yeah,
if she dies, her body hasn't got. She has to have no body, sort of thing. That's how I think. How they've
Yeah.
kind of made her in these things.
yeah. So then
Yeah.
Wanda like stalks over, like her obviously, walking over to where America Chavez is held in the cell,
Yeah.
and Christine's trying to help her get out. Cause like,
Yeah.
we you need to get out of here. You're gonna die.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then while that's all going on, Doctor Strange is being spoken to by Mordor. Like Mordor's like, dude, you need to let me go. And Mordor's like, no. We're gonna make a decision when they get back. He's like, dude, they're dead.
And then this is the funny thing, right? And let me interrupt you there, but this is the funniest thing, right? Mordor goes, well, because he says they're dead, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever, they're dying, whatever, right? Because he doesn't know exactly, but he's just saying they're probably finished now. They're probably gone. And then Mordor goes, well, we were going to make a decision about you, but seeing as I'm the only member of the Illuminati left now,
Yeah.
my decision is unanimous then.
Oh, I forgot to
Because
say
there's
as
no one to
well.
disagree with me.
I forgot to say just literally before this bit where Xavier goes off and he goes, go and save the girl.
Yeah.
And Mordor's like, what? Goes, no. That's when he says the line about letting someone slip, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so he goes off, oh, where's Xavier going? And he's fancy wheelchair. But back to Mordor and Strange.
Yeah.
Then Strange realizes, remembers like, my Mordor is sort of an egomaniac as well. So
Yeah.
if I push these certain buttons, he's gonna react this certain way. So he starts like saying, "Oh, you've always been jealous of me. Even you probably hated my version here." So he's like, "Ah," and they start fighting. Strange gets upper hand. He manages to get off one of the bracelets, and then puts it on Mordor during a fight. So then his magic powers are nullified as well. Then he kind of knocks him out, jumps up a wall, and runs off. And then Mordor goes, "No, I can see why your Earth version hates you." And I was like, that's funny.
Yeah. It's just like, right, Mordor. So everyone's dying over there, yeah. But what matters to you is you get the last word of Doctor Strange. You shake your fist at the sky afterwards.
But like how he didn't say hate, he said, "I can see why your version dislikes you." Like, haha. Even he's still trying to be a nice guy. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So this is where So Charles. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. So this bit is just what we said. Just happens just after the bit I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
All right. So America Chavez trying to escape the cell. She punches it. It cracks.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, jeez, I could use my powers in times of desperation."
Yeah.
But too late. Wonder's there.
Yeah.
And then Charles floats over in his wheelchair, and he does the thing like this, right? Wonder points at him. She's gonna cast a spell on him, and he does the thing where he puts his hand to his head and points at her, right? Yeah. And then you see the thing from the cartoon, like the ripples, the circles, the
I thought that was hilarious.
concentric circles just coming towards her. And
then we go to her head.
Yeah, where he opens the door and there's rubble.
Yeah.
And he goes to rubble and Wanda's in there, but the version,
this universe is Wanda.
Who's been encased, and he's like, "Okay, if I could get you, Wanda, you have to help me. If we could get you out, maybe you can repossess the body and push this evil Wanda out."
Yeah.
And then, but you have this red mist cloud coming towards him, and obviously he's trying to pull her out, but he realizes, "Oh no, I'm not going to do it in time." And the Scarlet Witch Wanda, grabs his neck and snaps it. And then in real life, and then in real life, he twists his own neck and flops on his finger, and then he's done, right?
Yeah.
But what's funny, I say but in the time that all this happened, America Chavez and Christine Palmer have escaped, and you see the glass on the floor. Yeah. Right. That's right. And Wanda, for some reason, has no shoes. So I think she probably left in such a hurry.
Yeah.
Is from inside her own house that she was like, even though you're right, she could probably float or whatever, right? But I think as she's so hurt at this point, she can't really do much. She had to walk over the glass shards. Yeah. Which probably doesn't help with her rage. you know, I'm going to take this out on all of yous. So America Chavez and Christine Palmer bump into Strange. Yeah. Who's running the opposite way. And then he's like, "Look, you got to get me out of these cuffs. Otherwise, we're all going to die. Because she can't control her powers. You have no powers. And this woman is like... She wants all the power." Yeah. So, let's go. Come on. And she's like, "Don't make me regret this." And so she unlatches him from the cuffs. And then we get into, stalker movie territory with shuffling Wanda with her, shards in her foot. So she's walking all like a horror movie, like beat up horror movie villain, right? Yeah. They're running away from her, but really slowly.
Yeah, but yet she's who's like basically has no fear at this point. Yeah, it's still catching up to them. Like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. When you see her shuffling towards him, it's like even when the camera's behind her, you see her shoulders just kind of. They're not smooth walking whatsoever.
No.
And then they're kind of like jogging along or whatever. Yeah. At this point, because they're just hitting the buttons that closes the trap doors, the whatever doors. Yeah. The blast doors. Yeah. And she's just crunching them and throwing them out of the way, and just walking towards them, getting closer, by the way, and they're running.
Yeah. So it makes no sense.
I'm gonna say she's using her powers to slow them down because she couldn't use her powers to.
But then,
I just... Or she was using her powers to make herself walk faster.
That's more viable, if
Yeah,
anything.
okay.
Even though it's all stupid, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is where they, like you said earlier, where they close one of the final doors, yeah, and they just because they stop hearing the thumping on the doors,
Yeah.
and they're like, "What happened to her? Where are we? Where are we underneath?" Dripping water. Like, all right, so she's on the other side, right, of the doors, correct?
Yeah.
So why is she not making any noise?
Yeah.
And she basically just steps out of the shadows inside
Yeah.
of where they are. So she's somehow bypassed the door,
I was like,
and
oh.
then
Okay.
they're like, "It's a horror villain! Run!"
Yeah, then they start running, and you're like, this is so weird.
Yeah, I liked it. It was funny. It was funny.
Yeah.
And then I think Strange casts the like a spell to pull bricks out of the thing above her. So then she gets washed away in the water.
Yeah, because they're under like the river at this point.
Yeah, and then they hit because they're going past the blast door, the another set of blast doors. And he pulls the thing, and then Christine hits the blast doors to close, and then they and the place where the Doctor Strange of that universe hid the Darkhold.
Yeah.
And the keyword or whatever it is.
Wait, the to unlock the lock.
Yeah.
He thought it was like an enchantment or whatever, or summon, whatever it is. And he's like, okay, but let me think. It's got to be something that is important to me. And then Christine's like, Steven. And she holds up the watch that she got him that was broken during his accident and everything. Goes, oh, of course, that's it. So he puts it in the lock, opens up the magical door, and then they're into the other the middle dimension. Where
The dimension from the very beginning, yeah.
Yeah, where the Book of Vishanti is kept. Yeah. So, like, there it is. So they jump through.
Yeah.
And as usual, they take too long to get this book. So they just land in and go, okay, cool, let's get this and go. Yeah. They monologue.
Yeah.
About whatever it is.
Because they've got to give time for the horror villain to catch up with them, as you do, right?
As you do. So then they get the book, and as they just get the book, she comes.
No, hold on. But let me backtrack a second, because it is kind of relevant. Because she's like, are you going to try and take away America Chavez's powers to use for yourself as well? Because if she can't control them, you need the dimensional travel powers, and you can't leave her powerless to fight Wanda. Wonder's going to come for you all anyway. So how exactly are we going to do this?
Yeah.
What is your game? Don't be selfish, like the other Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
She's trying to trust you. That sort of stuff going on.
Yeah, I've got that part. And he's like, no, I would never do that.
Yeah. Even though his past version already did try to do that.
Yeah.
That's the issue, isn't it?
Yeah. Because apparently all the strangers are the same. Because that's what they're saying. All you strangers are the same. Just care about yourselves, all things. Yeah. And then, so they get the book. And then who comes through the door? Wanda. And she hits them all with some beam or whatever. Because she takes Chavez, hits them to a beam. And one of the beams burns the Book of Vishanti.
Yeah.
So like, oh no, we're screwed. And then America gets scared, obviously. So she projects one of her portals.
Yeah.
And Wanda pushes Christine and Doctor Strange through it.
Yeah.
And they go to another dimension, another universe, while Wanda has Chavez. And they go back to Wong and that in Matt Wanda Gore. And
she just then leaves, right? She just leaves the host body of her Wanda, wherever it was.
Yeah.
I'm like, if this Wanda had no powers, she just left it here.
Yeah. Because this was something like, she must have powers then, because she was able to do what she does fly through the thing, innit? It's like, she has powers.
Yeah.
But she's probably just retired at this point, so
yeah. Yeah, that's the logic. I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, that's the logic afterwards, like when you see it happen. But at the time, you don't know 100%.
Yeah. But it kind of makes sense, because it wouldn't have to, because for her to have kids and stuff with Vision, so it kind of makes sense,
Well, you don't know if they're Vision's kids.
Oh, well, to her, the cat, true. But she would have been involved in the Thanos thing, I'm guessing? I don't know.
Oh, okay, she might be involved in the Thanos thing, but let's put it this way, right? Ultron never happened, so therefore Vision never happens in this universe.
Good point. Or Ultron could have happened, but it didn't go bad? I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah. Too many questions. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's one of those things where there are questions, but they don't need to answer them because it's not relevant. They don't
No.
need to hand you all the answers because why would they? The people in that universe already know the answers.
Yeah, so why do we need to know them? Yeah,
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 well, it's not that. It's not relevant to Doctor Strange. If he asks the questions, then we get the answers as the audience. But as everyone in that universe already knows, and Doctor Strange is not asking the questions, randomly the answer won't happen out of nowhere.
yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. So then, wait, did we talk? Wait, has Wong already been thrown off the building? We've got to say about, did Wong get thrown off the mountain at this point?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, no, yeah. So yeah, he tries to fight back. Well, okay. she she does the dream walk thing to possess the other wonder.
Yeah.
I think he tries to stop it.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Nah, you can f off." Essentially.
Basically, yeah. And kicks him off the mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She comes back. They drop Strange into Strange and Christine somewhere, right? They don't know where they are, but some misty Silent Hill looking
universe where a collision happened and there's just basically a messed up world at this point.
Because it's like two universes collided-ish.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, we went for the logic of finding Doctor Strange in your universe, Christine's universe.
Yeah.
So we should go apply that same logic here.
Yeah,
we find the Doctor Strange, I can speak to him,
Yeah.
And if he isn't, at least we know where the Sanctum Sanctorum is and can try and use his stuff.
Yeah.
They find Doctor Strange. Well, Doctor Strange goes in there, tells Christine to stay outside. He finds the other Strange, who's looking kind of worse for wear, is what I'm saying, right? And he's like, yeah, there was the danger of the Darkhold here, I think Doctor Strange is like, yeah, did the Scarlet Witch come and just do anything shady in your universe? Because Scarlet Witch didn't do anything. I've got the Darkhold. Yeah, I've got the Darkhold, and he opens the third eye on his head.
Yeah.
And then
he's that strange. Yeah.
Yeah, and I this is at this point I thought, okay, so they're gonna have this Strange be the mastermind behind everything, because he put the thoughts in Wanda's head. Because I thought maybe they'll turn her back, but now I was like, the stuff she's done, right?
Yeah, she's too far gone.
I was like, if they use this guy as the mastermind, it's gonna be mighty convenient.
Yeah.
Right. Especially introducing him this late in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been terrible.
Yeah. So Doctor Strange finds Doctor Strange, and he gets knocked into the piano. 616 Strange, and he like sees the musical notes, and he's like, "All right, what I'm gonna do is use the notes to like cast them onto the other Doctor Strange."
Yeah.
And I thought they were just going to jokingly play certain musical cues, because you have to lift the whatever they're called, the key shapes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I thought, they're going to just play random, even the Doctor, maybe even a little bit of the Doctor Strange, his own theme, like when you pull the certain keys or something. But then they didn't do that. I was like, they could have just went a little bit meta just for the jokes. And played the Avengers theme as well.
Yeah. It was a pretty good theme. I was like, that's a pretty good theme. I was like, I never thought of doing that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so they have a little bit of a mystical battle for the Darkhold as well. And as evil Strange is reaching for the Darkhold, good Strange uses he cheats in the fight, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Because they're relatively equal. And then he pulls a musical key from somewhere else, slightly out of the actual peripheral, and uses that to unbalance the beam fight.
Yeah.
And it sends them both flying, and it sends Evil Strange flying out the Sanctum Sanctorum window.
Yeah.
And he falls on his own gates and gets a couple of spikes through his
While Christine walks, like, oh wow, just saw a dead body. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then when Doctor Strange opens the Darkhold he's like, right, I'm gonna open the Darkhold because I got a plan. And then Christine pops in and goes, "Oh, it's knew you Doctor Strangers were all about evil and stuff like that. You want the power for yourself." And I was like, he's like, hold on a second, woman. Hold on,
girl.
a second, right? Yeah. Let me just explain to you exactly what the plan is, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go and find it. We have no multiversal travel, so I need to use this to dreamwalk and possess a version of me somewhere.
Yeah.
In order to fight Wanda, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise we are all screwed.
Yeah.
Okay. And this takes a toll on me as well, by the way. And you need to protect me from the
demons that might come. And she's like, "What would you mean?" And then you find out why.
Yeah. It's like, because they don't like multi-dimensional travel to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Especially the way I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And she's like, "All right, okay, I believe in you, Strange, because you're actually trying to, you basically you're trying to sacrifice. You're not going to sacrifice yourself for the good, but it's just more like, look, you are actually going to cause some damage to yourself to save the multiverse. So fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, they're like, how are you going to possess? You're here, right? How are you going to possess a body when you don't have a body over there?
Yeah.
And he's like, no one said anything about a living body.
Yeah.
And he revives his own corpse.
Yeah.
Which, funny enough, because he's dreamwalking to his own corpse, which is actually not native to that dimension.
Yeah.
Which just happens to be there.
Convenience. But that's quite good, because I didn't see that coming. It's like, okay. I kind of forgot about the dead body thing. That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, like I think that was the plan for it as well. And it was dead as well. So and because that's a double thing, isn't it? Because Scarlet Witch possessing live version of Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
But yeah. So he resurrects himself and he's walking like all proper zombie-like because he's corpse.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And he uses the sling rings and stuff like that, but he has to re-click his fingers back normally.
Yeah, which is quite funny.
And then he teleports over to the other side of the mountains where Wong and Scarlet Witch are.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, how am I going to get over there? Yeah. And then the things that he was being afraid of come after him. What were they called? What were they called?
They were like, I want to say like demons of the dead.
Yeah, because fair enough, you're dreamwalking and it causes things to get noticed, right?
Yeah. But
you also your dreamwalking is something that's not native to that dimension, as well as undead.
Yeah.
So it's causing a lot of things to draw the attention of these things. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, would you say
demons of the dark, whatever, right?
Yeah, dead demons, whatever they are. Yeah.
So they try to fight him, right? And he's like getting more kind of spiritually mauled by them.
Yeah.
And then Christine, she gets to do stuff actually. She don't protect him because they come out of his body.
Yeah.
But not the undead one, the one that's alive.
Yeah.
They knock her flying, and she's like, "All right, well, you know what? Time to kick some ass." She gets some flame. She gets something and a candle, and she calls it like a flamethrower out of it.
Yeah, some bazooka.
And then she's like, "Steven, you're the damn sorcerer supreme, yeah? Get your stuff together."
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. All right. She gives her the like a power revival speech.
Yeah.
And he powers up and he goes, "You know what? Yeah, I am Doctor Strange. Damn it." And yeah, then he kind of uses. They realize the folly of the error of their ways. These demon things, right? They're like, you know what? Let's try and get out of here. And he goes, no, you guys ain't flying nowhere. And he kind of,
you're part of me now.
He pulls them together and actually creates wings from them.
Yeah.
Like meld them together. It's a shame they didn't flap though. I thought they were legit gonna flap.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
But yeah, he flies across undead body with like spirit trying to escape wings, right?
Yeah.
Very, very horror looking, yeah. And he flies over there, and the things that are going to protect Scarlet Witch they stand up on the edge of the mountain and they're like,
Let's fight, dog. Yeah.
yeah, they're gonna do like they're gonna blast Doctor Strange or something like that.
They're gonna do
And
something. They don't really explain what.
yeah, I think their eyes light up, or they get the hex power, right? They're gonna
Yeah.
do something, and then the one in the lead gets a spear through the bottom of his jaw, and then he
Yeah.
falls down the mountain, and then you see our boy Wong like, yeah, I got you, boys. And then he looks up, and they're all like with big rocks in their hands, about to throw them down. He was like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, oh no." Yeah, so I think they throw one, and he calls it a shield, but then it kind of drops him further down
Yeah.
because it does impact on him. You know, he's holding on to something, right?
Yeah.
But then Strange rescues him, undead Strange, and when he finally climbs up there, Wong, he's like looking at. Okay, so I think Strange does the encapsulation spell. He fights Wonder for a little bit,
Yeah.
but he's just trying to contain her.
Yeah.
She's just busting out, and when Wong gets up there, he looks at Strange and he's like, "I don't even want to know."
Yeah. Like, I can't deal with this right now. Whatever. Just do you.
Yeah. So the things, Strange unleashes his wings onto Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
He does the containment. Wong does the containment as well to try and hold her. Yeah. Yeah.
And then this is when Wong goes to Strange, take America's powers because you know how to use it, and he's like, oh, okay. So he goes over, and America's like, yeah, take my powers, and he's like, no, I'm not going to take your powers. You can do this. Believe in yourself. All that stuff, you know.
Yeah. Well,
Power of friendship.
if the Wong's exact words were "do what must be done" or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what needs to be done, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So and then Strange is like, I do.
Yeah.
And you're obviously assuming that he's gonna. He does actually. The one does say legit take her powers, but
Yeah.
the rest of it's kind of ambiguous.
Yeah. And then he does all that, and then Wanda starts burning Strange's corpsey body, whatever.
Yeah.
And then America powers up and realizes she can use her power for herself because she's.
Yeah. Well, no. So Strange says to her, "So you said you can't use your powers, right? But you understand, everywhere we've gone, every time you've teleported us somewhere, we've gone to exactly where we needed to be.
Yeah.
Whether you can control it subconsciously or unconsciously or whatever, you've always put us in the right place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be afraid of your power."
And then she's like, yeah, I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then she gets out of Wanda's hold or whatever, because Wanda gets out of that little prison thing they put her in.
Yeah.
And America starts fighting back with her powers because she's got super strength and stuff like that. And starts punching her, and then Wanda kind of gets back on top, and then America's like, nah, I kind of want you to do that. So she punched her through a dimensional rift, and it takes them to the other one that she was possessing with her kids.
Yeah.
And then they was going to leave her there. No, so then she sees her kids in that, and then the other Wanda's like, get away from my family, whatever. So Wanda, Scarlet Witch throws her across the room. So the kids start getting scared. And they're like, don't hurt our mummy. And she's like, I'll never hurt anyone, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. And then she kind of realized like, oh, wait, what's going on? And then America's about to close a portal, and Strange goes, no, wait, just wait a second.
Yeah.
And then Wanda sees all the mess that she's done, and she's like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
I have become what I didn't want to become, the monster.
Yeah.
I am the evil Scarlet Witch sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then they close the portal, and Wanda's like, oh, wow, I've made a huge mistake. I've killed lots of people. I can't come back from this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Strange does a portal for... Oh, sorry. America does a portal... No, Strange tells America and Wong to go through the portal back to wherever that place is.
Yeah.
The Supreme Sanctum, whatever it is. And Corpse, Strange, and Wanda are just standing there, and Wanda's like, no one else can have her touch the Darkholme because of what it does. Yeah. So she brings down Mount Wondagore with them both in it. but then you see a little. But when it's all crumbling down, you see a little blast thing. So that makes me believe that Wanda's not dead, and Zombie Strange dies.
Yeah.
So then we see Strange and Christine back in the incursion world. Like, wow, we did it. You're not like the other strangers. Yeah, I know. But hey, I love you. And I've been lying to myself saying that I'm happy. Because throughout this film, he's been saying people he's happy with his life, but he's not really, obviously.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, I love you and I need to change, sort of thing. And she's like, oh, yeah, you do. A shame that you can't come to my world. And she's like, you know what? I would love to see a world. What's it like? And he goes, yeah, it's beautiful. You know, oh. By the way, America should be coming to get us soon and everything should be fine. So she does come, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And then we kind of flash forward to like days later or whatever, where they're back at the Supreme Sanctum, whatever it is, and they're rebuilding everything. And America is one of the pupils now trying to learn how to use like the sling rings and that. And Wong and Strange is talking like, yeah, you know, Wong, are you happy? Wong's like, you know, I'm not really happy, but I like to think that I'm okay because I know there's other universes out there and they're probably worse than me. So, I think I'm doing pretty fine.
Yeah.
So they have like a cool, like friendly moment. And then before Strange leaves, go back to New York, he finally bows to Wong because when you see the Source Supreme, you're going to bow. Yeah. And Wong's like, this is weird, sort of thing. And then when Strange's about to go back to New York through Sling Ring, America comes through and basically says thank you. And like, this kind of builds some like some like father-daughter relationship they have now. Mm-hmm. And, oh, this is quite cool. And he's like, yeah, you'll probably find your family. And when you meet your mums, they'll be very proud of you. So he goes back to New York.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it, right?
Well, Strange walks out of the...
Oh, yeah. You know, for some reason, I thought this was part of the mid-credit scene. Yeah, so he's back. Again, I think it's flash forward a couple of days or whatever. So he's back having a new lease on life. Like, you know what? I'm okay. So he's walking down New York City, like, looking like a dapper don and that stuff. Then he starts like hearing some weird echoey sound in his brain. He's like, ah! And then he kind of falls to the ground and he gets up and then the third eye opens on his forehead. Like the
so that's what happens when you apparently abuse the power of the Darkhold. But Scarlet Witch didn't have a third eye, so oh no.
I think because she's a witch, because they said witchcraft and sorcery are two different things in this. I'm guessing that's might happen to sorcerers. I don't know. Yeah. And then it ends there.
Except for the mid-credit sequence, by the way.
Except for that bit. Which, do you want to say what happens?
So a couple of days after that ends,
I guess so.
is another ending. Yeah. Where Strange is like walking in the street, and then Charlie's Theron. They didn't give a name. It says she appears. She's like, "Yo, Doctor Strange, we need your help." And he's like, "All right." And he just changes his clothes into Doctor Strange clothes, and his third eye opens and goes, "Yeah, we're gonna jump in this dimension that I just opened, right?
Yeah, because
and we're gonna do something."
Yeah, because
I was like to my friend, what they're gonna do is finally fight the people from Fast and Furious because they have abilities to create sentient cars for some reason.
Yeah, but... she is a Doctor Strange character called Salel.
Clear,
that's it. Clear, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So that was a bit random. When I say random, like, I didn't expect an appearance from her in this. So the adventure continues, except that we don't know what it's continuing on because the Infinity Saga had something leading up to somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But I don't want to say they don't know what they're going to, but they have a major plan.
Yeah.
Things lead on to some. It's after credits that leads. I don't want to say to other things, right? Or things within their own things, but it's just like they have no big moment to lead to anymore.
Well, I think they do because they kind of mentioned something sort of similar with in Shang-Chi at his ending.
Oh, but it's like they don't reveal to us what
what
it
it
is.
is. Yeah.
So not only that, they could be leading to something they don't know what they're leading to, but they've left enough openness
Yeah.
to backtrack to whatever it is,
Yeah. So yeah, it should be pretty cool.
Yeah, but yeah, that's this film. I very much liked it. I enjoyed like I said, the horror looking vibes. Um, yeah, the fact that Scarlet Witch was super powerful, I didn't
Yeah.
mind because she got boosted essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
I like the cameos as well. Yeah,
I like how they kind of turned the good guy into a bad guy, the Scarlet Witch thing, but then like I don't know, I think they made her too evil, if that makes sense.
yeah. Well, they made it like she couldn't come back,
Yeah.
which was good in some ways because they're like, well, they took a risk and they kind of like, well, we're going to stick to it.
Yeah.
The other thing is like, now she can't come back. She truly cannot come back.
Yeah.
You can't. There's lines you can cross, right? And like I said, if the evil Doctor Strange possessed her into doing these things, not or encourage, how it is nudge her
Yeah.
into fair enough. But even then, after you start murdering the Avengers of the other world, I think that's a bit far.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even if you can say, oh, it happened in the other world, and no one in 616 universe knew it happened, it's like, yeah, but as the audience, we know it happened, and that doesn't help you.
Strange knows it happens. I mean,
Yeah.
And I'm
So
pretty
ain't no
sure
coming
he
back.
will tell everyone. Yeah.
I thought there was going to be more with the evil Doctor Strange
Yeah,
because he was just in it for his scene to explain his Darkhold bit, and it was like, yeah, but if you were going to do that, don't have him only appear for like 10 minutes or something.
I don't know. I was kind of glad that they didn't go with that because, like you said, that's kind of like an easy way. I was like, oh, he was behind it all along.
No, I didn't need it. I didn't want like him behind it all along is different. I just thought like as they got him,
Yeah.
have him a bit more in it, but they kind of just
really
use.
need him.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
Because like it's sort of weird fan service to the what if thing, really, isn't it?
I suppose.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So overall, very, very, very neat, very cool film.
Yep. Very interesting.
Yeah, but not the deepest film.
No. I'm kind of glad it wasn't the deepest film because it's like, why would it need to be?
It's light, but not light-hearted. Yeah. It's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
It's breezy, and you're along for the ride.
Yeah.
And it's not too complicated.
No. Unless it would be super complicated if you haven't seen any other like Marvel film.
Well, here's the thing, right? We'll have to watch it if and when I watch it again.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at it. This all makes sense if you don't know what's going on. But I really don't think this makes sense if you don't know what's what.
It'd be too confusing.
Yeah. You cannot jump into this movie. I mean, like, you would have to at least watch the first Doctor Strange.
I don't even if that would help, if I'm honest.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you ain't wrong. let me put it that way. Yeah.
But yeah, good film. I recommend people seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're into Marvel stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what they are gonna lead to next because there's enough open ends, and I also want to know. I'm curious to see if they put an extended edition or how they're going to do the extra, what the extra scenes were.
Yeah.
If they were just cameos, then fair enough. But it's just like one of those things where you're like, okay, if your initial cut was 240 minutes, not 240 minutes, 2 hours 40 minutes, exactly what did that contain? Because there's not like this movie was only 2 hours, and there's stuff that could have been expanded upon,
but didn't need to be. Yeah.
Well, not necessarily need to be. I mean. I don't know to say, oh, this movie could have done with another 10, 20 minutes or something like that. But
I don't think
I would have been fine if it did have, which because it didn't seem too long as a movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. So
yeah.
Anything else you want to say about it?
No. Other than I enjoyed it, and I yeah.
Like one bit, I was like, oh. Like the bit with Xavier when he went into like Wanda's mind and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know it's not gonna happen, but there's a small part of me is like, oh, maybe they're gonna make reference to in their universe, she's the daughter of Magneto, and there's some connection there, but it didn't. So I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't anger me or anything, but Would have been nice for me. Yeah. Well, here's what it is.
Yeah, yeah. There's all cool stuff, all neat stuff. Yeah.
So yeah.
Most of the damage happened in another dimension, anyways. So
Yeah. What was the word they used? Irreversible damage, whatever.
yeah, irreparable.
Yeah, irreparable. That's it. Oh, that's a.
Yeah.
That means people's gonna
Yeah.
die.
So that other alternate universe no longer has any Avengers, right?
Well, no Illuminati.
Yeah. Except for Mordo.
Yeah.
Except for Mordo, because then he's like, I am the Illuminati.
Well,
so every
Mordo
decision
may
he makes...
be Captain Marvel, because like I said, I don't think that killed her.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and
okay.
half of Captain Carter if she survived, right?
Yeah, make her cyborg. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, she'd be like the Winter Soldier, but with 2 robot legs instead of.
Yeah, maybe.
Cool. All right, then I guess that's us then. Yes, in this lengthy episode. Well, I would like to thank you all for listening to this. Hopefully we didn't spoil too much for you, or if you're listening to this, hopefully you've seen it. You know, because that makes more sense. But I'd like to thank you all for listening to it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tell your friends about this podcast. You know, help us grow. Let us know your favorite parts of this through our social media platforms like our Instagram and our Twitter, where I reply to everything that's said there. Or you can even drop us an email. And that's all listed in the description in either the bottom if you're watching this on YouTube or in the description part of the podcast. But I have been the man who used a dark hole to grow a third eye, Kyle Charles, and
I am the like Brother Mordo, I am the Illuminati because I'm the only source of my and that means my decision stands for 5 people's decisions. Yeah. So I can do what I want, wherever I want.
And well, thank you all for and thank you for taking the trip around this multiverse of madness with us. See what I did there? All right. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.